All right, fans and folks, and all those other kinds of people out there, my geeks and my anime lovers. So today I woke up this morning and I thought today is the motherfucking day. Due to what's going on in One Piece right now, Egghead Island coming to an end, I'd like to talk about Mr. Vegapunk. So, what I had in mind is to start my webcast series talking about my views on how Vegapunk is a double agent. Now, before we get into this web series, I need you to jump down below and like and subscribe to my new channel, Aura Farm Code, because we're aura farming over here. Just Miss Aura here. You've seen the headlines, you read the chapters. Dr. Vegapunk is dead, bruh. But not before he dropped the single most devastating lore dump in One Piece history. The world government failed to silence the smartest man alive, but they missed something crucial. It wasn't just a message, it was a death-activated scientific calculations. For months we debated who betrayed him, but the real question is, did Vegapunk betray the world government first? Today we dive into two crucial logs he recorded, the intellectual log he uploaded to York and the death trigger log he programmed to the broadcast when his heart stopped. We're breaking down the hard evidence to prove that Vegapunk's death was not a tragedy but his final massive sabotage against the whole system. Alright, let's hop right into it. Vegapunk deliberately sabotaged the replication of the artificial devil fruit smile and the other government projects because of his knowledge of the void century made him actively undermine the world government from within. Let's get into who Vegapunk was and how we seen him. He was the government's twisted genius, the ultimate henchman responsible for abominations like Seraphim and Kuma and his pacifistas. But that narrative is a little shallow, you know. He was never loyal and he was a double agent, in my views. I want to know if you guys are familiar with the smile origin. They are artificial Zoan devil fruits. The manufacturer is Caesar the Clown. He used the chemical sad, which was developed and perfected by Vegapunk. Let's just stop there and think about it. Like, Vegapunk has been in One Piece since the very beginning. We never knew who he was exactly. They just always hinted that he was this evil scientist. We didn't know about Caesar Clown yet, or the Smile Fruit, but they are very important to my thesis and what I believe.
You're a double agent with double chin!
Failure rate for the sad fruit, or excuse me, the smile fruit with the sad gases in them, only 1 out of 10 users successfully gain powers. So if you guys watched the Wano arc and we seen all those weird ass devil fruit users, they were the only ones who successfully gained the powers. But look at what the fuck they became. They obviously look like bullshit ass creatures. Let's just say that. Um, and the other 90% end up having a maniacal laugh. Again, from the Wano series, if you remember, I can't remember his name, but the guy with the blue hair, um, he was always laughing, and we didn't understand why. They were forced to eat all the bad smile fruits, all the bad food, all of that. So a lot of them had maniacal laughter. Also, um, one of the dead giveaways was in the Dressrosa art. Too much off topic, but the smile devil fruits, they deliberately had a high failure rate, and the cruel psychological side effect imports the maniacal laughter. Again, the Joker laugh. Um, the sabotage, let's argue that Vegapunk created a weapon built in itself. a destructive flaw to paralyze the world government's proxies, armies, Kaido's forces. Let's dig. He didn't just fail to replicate them, he intentionally engineered a mental weakness into the failed recipients, knowing the world government would eventually employ this unreliable, unstable, and psychologically debating technology. Okay, that is the first argument. Let's come on down to the second argument. Kuma, my boy. The Kuma failsafe. Vegapunk's final alterations to Bartholomew Kuma, the willingness to turn his friend into a pacifista, and the secret failsafe left behind. His sabotage, let's argue that Vegapunk sacrificed his friend. Fucking evil. But did so with the explicit hidden purpose of preserving Kuma's will and memory. The secret modification that allowed Kuma's personality and purpose to remain relevant. Remember the memory bubble? The final programming of his actions. Let's just say Bonnie knocked the shit out of Vegapunk because she wasn't playing. It also proves he was protecting Kuma's loyalty to the Revolutionary Army. Excuse me. Knowing Kuma's final journey would expose the government's cruelty. This was the ultimate double crossing, giving the government a loyal machine while secretly setting his friend free. I mean, so was he evil? I feel like Vega, excuse me, guys. I feel like Vegapunk always knew what he was doing. He might have seemed like he was mining um Emu and the five elders and going, what they had to do, but I think he was always going against the grain with having an underlying motive. Even, so he did what they asked, but he also didn't without their knowledge. So with that being said, um, I feel like there's my second point. He was a double agent. I'm gonna let that go ahead and cook and put that on simmer while we go ahead and jump into argument number 3. The death trigger log. If you guys are clicking this and have not made it to Egghead Arc, I suggest you go ahead and just leave because this is a spoiler alert. So again, let's go ahead and go into this third argument. Vegapunk has recorded a message detailing the truth of the world, likely the Void Century, which is set to broadcast globally upon his death, as he confesses his sins in the mist. Okay? The sabotage, let's argue that this is his final undeniable act of betrayal. A loyal agent ignites a flame under the world's ass. A sabotager makes it undestroyable, an undestroyable and automated recording by creating a literal death trigger broadcast. Vegapunk ensured his final act, would be the most damning form of dissent, using his scientific legacy to broadcast a single piece of information the government has spent 800 years hiding. If that's not the biggest fuck you, then I don't know what is. So now that we let that stuff simmer and cook, I just want you guys to sit back and think. Like, he dead ass was a double agent from the get go. And I just wanted to see if you guys agreed. Um, when you look at the evidence, the intentional flawed smile fruits, the hidden failsafe in Kuma, and the death triggered log, it becomes damn near impossible not to see Vegapunk as a double agent. Vegapunk got, his every major project contained a fatal flaw designed to cripple the world's government. He was a revolutionary force to be fucked with from the shadows, ensuring that even in death, fighting from the shadows, people, the truth of the Void Century could finally ignite the One Piece world. But what do you think was Vegapunk's greatest act of sabotage? Was it Kuma? Was it the death broadcast? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives into One Piece lore and analysis of the classics that inspired it, hit the subscribe button before the next chapter drops. Miss Aura out. Have a good night, you guys.